3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
TNA Wrestling Show.
I mean, I've watched your show, your guys' show, you know, so it's nothing new to me.
This is Petey Williams' definition of definition, the Maple Leaf Muscle, and I need you to subscribe to Andre Corbeil on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Diana Hart. You're watching the Can-Am Wrestling Show with Big Ray and Andre Corbeil.
That's right.
What brings you to my house like Petey Corbeil while I'm wearing my PJs?
This is Monsters DC, and you're watching the Can-Am Wrestling Show, a.k.a. formerly Brodus Clay the Funkasaurus, and you do know that.
It's me, Hernandez, a.k.a. the Super Mex, and you're watching the Can-Am Wrestling Show.
This is the effing machine, Wolverine, Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, here with Andre and Big Ray, and you're watching the Can-Am Wrestling Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Can-Am Wrestling Show, episode number 61. And if you don't know who I am the Mark of the Masses, the man on the plan, Big Ray, here to stay to talk some wrestling today. And I am joined, as always, by my Can-Am brother from the north, my Canadian compadre. I call him the Canadian Destroyer. On Twitter, Andre_Corbeil. What's up, bro?
How you doing, Ray? Episode 61 of the Can-Am Wrestling Show. Welcome along this journey, wrestling fans. Very excited. We have an exciting top 10. Yes, top 10 this week.
I thought it was a top 5.
Yeah, I'll let you explain that to the fans when we roll into that. Now, this is a top 10 that I'm extremely excited about, concerning one of my favorite titles of all time, especially as a child. So, Big Ray, take it away and explain why this is indeed a Can-Am Wrestling Show top 10.
Well, again, the top 10.
The Can-Am Wrestling Show's
Top 10 all-time United States wrestling champions, Andre. Now, again, growing up, it was actually one of my very favorite titles growing up, right along the line with the Intercontinental title. Now, the reason why we're calling it the top 10 is, here's the deal. Basically, you know, nobody really does the top 5. I mean, everywhere you go on the internet, it's a top 10. Not that we're copycatting anyone, but the fact of the matter is this: me and Andre never have the same people on our top 5 list. So you know what? We give 10, and I guess you guys can put together the order. It's our order, you know. There's no right or wrong. So that's why we're gonna call it the top 10. We're trying to keep the show fresh. So,
and it will indeed be more exciting, more interactive for you fans that leave your own top 10s, your own suggestions for top 10s, which they will be down the line, which used to be the top 5s. But you know where I'm going with this, wrestling fans. It's all about interaction, and I think it'll just be more enjoyable creating top 10s because they're more relevant, pertaining and relating to search engine, credibility, more commonality pertaining and relating to those. So it just makes more sense to have a top 10 other than a top 5. And Ray, we might have one, at max 2 similar selections each week on the countdown, so it just makes more sense in relevancy.
Right. Well, that's where you guys come in out there. OneWrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestling Video. You leave your list. You fill in the blanks, guys. It's up to you guys to kind of give us ideas, and we bounce back and forth. Speaking about giving ideas, we're going to announce at the end of the show the winner who finally gave us a segment that we can bite into. That we're going to be we're actually going to debut it tonight, and then we're going to have that guest on. But anyway, you know, we'll jump into that at the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we'll have him on next week.
Yeah, we'll have him on next week. So, Andre, do you want to start? Or would you like me to start, sir?
Absolutely. Bill Goldberg, a 2-time. Yes, Ray, I'm doing my countdowns within number of title reigns in my relevancy of this countdown. So, Andre Corbeil's Can-Am Wrestling Show number 5 selection this week is none other than Bill Goldberg. Yes, Goldberg, a 2-time title holder, and indeed was a fighting U.S. champion in absolute dominant fashion, as this was during the time of the famous Goldberg streak. We all remember 170 some odd wins, ultimately vacating the United States belt after winning the WCW World Heavyweight Championship against Hollywood Hulk Hogan, brother. And the Goldberg legacy marched on. So number 5 this week on the Can-Am Wrestling Show, top fizzle or top 10 is Bill Goldberg.
Top tizzle now, I guess.
Yeah, tizzle.
Sure. What the hell? All right. So Andre,
Hey, did you get a chance to check out the Justin Bieber roast?
I did not.
I watched it last night, Ray. It is quite amusing. A lot of good digs. I enjoyed it. So fans, in your spare time, check it out if you want a good laugh on someone that a lot of people like it to put the boot to, and that's exactly what happened to. Whether you like it or not, Justin Bieber got the boots on the roast. So check it out, wrestling fans. Comedy Central.
Yeah, thank you, Canada, for bringing Justin Bieber to the United States and the world.
Thank you, YouTube, right?
So listen.
Or no thank you, YouTube.
Yeah, no kidding.
Side of the
No,
fence.
I couldn't give a rat's ass about Justin Bieber. But anyway, we're going to jump into my number 5.
Yeah.
My number 5, dude, is possibly, you know what? You spoke about Goldberg. It's funny because this guy is the original Bill Goldberg, Andre.
Oh, chain and all?
Yeah, chain and all. I'm talking about the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff. Let me tell you something. This guy had one reign, but he reigned for 11 months, I think 328 days. This guy had a great feud with Magnum, TA, and the NWA. I mean, he had Ivan Koloff in his corner, so on and so forth. This guy, he even had a great steel cage match versus I think it was Lex Luger back
He had
in.
a great feud with Dusty Rhodes.
I mean, Nikita Koloff was the modern was what Rusev is today. I think to the 10th power. He was hated, he was mean, and nobody got it from the Russian sickle. So yeah, man, for my cup of tea, the original Goldberg. I'm talking about the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff. So that's my number 5. It's not like Cookie Monster there, Cookie.
I think down the road, Ray, we should do a top 10 favorite childhood wrestlers. Favorite wrestlers growing up, because Nikita Koloff definitely falls into my top 10. Period. That's a great selection.
Thank you, brother.
I'm going to roll into my number 4 selection this week on the Can-Am Wrestling Show. None other than one of the 4 Horsemen elite, Tully Blanchard, a 2-time United States champion, and a bias Andre Corbeil, number 4 here, being one of my absolute favorite childhood heels. Now, Tully was a man that pulled every underhanded, shorthanded trick in the book, lowdown trick, and this was all to hold his United States Championship, which, in my opinion, it looked better on Tully Blanchard than it did anybody else. You factor in those nice cut tailored suits and the blinged out jewelry that Tully Blanchard wore while he walked around with that title. I just thought fittingly he was one of the best, if not the best, with the title looking kind of thing. He made it look important, and indeed it was an important title. It was a springboard title to the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and you were making good money and were indeed a big shot back in the day with this prestigious title with a great lineage. So number 4 this week on Andre Corbeil's Can-Am Wrestling Show, Top Tizzle.
Top Tizzle, yes, it's Top Tizzle now, I believe. Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, Jeff Hart, don't do that, please. Freaking weak, dude. All right,
number 4. Whether you like it or you don't, it's the best thing going today. Tully Blanchard. Hi, Tessa.
All right, so now I'm going to jump into my number 4. And again, the way I did it, Andre, what I did was I combined the number of reigns with the actual total days and what I felt was the importance of that person holding the title. And this person in 1985 defeated Wahoo McDaniel to win the United States title. He was the NWA's version, and possibly could have been the NWA's version of Hulk Hogan. Unfortunately, he was in a horrible accident that took him out of the wrestling game. He had amazing feuds with your boy Tully Blanchard, who I believe he lost the title.
The I Quit match.
The I Quit match, which
what a
is
legendary match.
One
in
of
the cage.
in the steel cage, one of the bloodiest, nastiest matches. He had feuds with the Four Horsemen, Ric Flair. I mean, he actually challenged Ric Flair for the world title while he was United States champion, and that's the way that title should be. That mid-card title should be held. You want to say something, Andre? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ray, just talking about this topic, this particular countdown, just nostalgia-wise, it makes me think of the NWA. And don't you miss those days of that type of wrestling, the way man's wrestling was booked? And that's exactly indeed what the National Wrestling Alliance represented tenfold. Man's wrestling.
Well, it's just different. It's a different world, Andre. The world that we grew up in, Andre, is not what a lot of the young fans watch nowadays. I mean, that's why I do like the WWE Network. You can go back and look and watch it in full and in good definition or high definition
for only $9.99.
$9.99. But
or $11.99 if you're in Canada.
In Canada.
Well, what the hell's with that, Vinny Mac?
It is what it is, brother. It is what it is. You guys, maybe you guys get a little extra. Maybe Bret Hart comes to your house and hangs out for a little bit. No, all right.
Diana's been at my place, but
that's a story for another day. So now, with
shout out Diana and Harry, how you guys doing?
You guys are awesome. Thank you for taking care of Andre over there in Canada.
Especially when I needed it the most. Yeah,
absolutely. So listen. So for me again, with 2 reigns totaling at 300 plus days, I'm going with Magnum TA. Andre, your number 3?
My number 3, it's funny that you mentioned Wahoo McDaniel, because indeed, number 3 on this week's Can-Am Wrestling Show Countdown is indeed Wahoo McDaniel. A 5-time United States champion, a man who drew a ton of money as the U.S. champion as well, battling the likes of Abdullah the Butcher, Sergeant Slaughter, Hot Rod Roddy Piper, Greg Valentine, Dick Slater, Dirty Dick Slater, and last but not least, Ricky Steamboat. So this was probably the most exciting time within the lineage of this title, era, whatever you want to call it. Wahoo McDaniel bloodying everywhere across the nation, defending that United States championship, and indeed a lineage that will go down in history as one of the greatest titles of all time.
Wahoo McDaniel was one hell of a heel, and when he turned babyface, he was probably one of the top babyfaces in wrestling at that time. Really, really good. I would say almost underrated, because he's not mentioned with the very great Wahoo McDaniel.
He's underrated within the WWE's pages, but
I'm saying wrestling in general.
In wrestling history, I disagree with you.
But a lot of young
he's one of the big shots of his era.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm saying a lot of the young fans right now maybe have never heard of Wahoo McDaniel. Guys, do your research. This guy was awesome.
Yeah, those are the fans that are stuck in the bubble, I'll call it.
Yeah, all right,
but I'm going to digress. Right. Make sure to take your time to use that YouTube search engine, the Google search engine, Bing, whatever your search engine may be, Yahoo. And
how about Ask Jeeves? Remember that back in the 90s?
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, anybody out there?
Ray, you're dating yourself, brother.
That's when you used to log on. He's like, remember that noise you used to make when you used to the dial-up noise?
Max Headroom and all
that? No,
that
dial-up noise, that horrible internet dial-up noise that used to scare me when I was a child. No, anyone?
Did you have issues over that sound?
I was beaten quite a bit to that sound. Anyway, it's a long story, but that's.
And those old phones used to be sturdy, you know.
Yeah, those old phones. Anyway, so I'm gonna jump into my number 3, Andre.
Oh, jeez.
And I am thinking out of the box. Now, with this number 3, this guy he actually defeated Chris Benoit for the United States Championship. This guy is actually still wrestling right now, and he is a major player in an Impact Wrestling. Player? Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the man who is ballin'. Yes, I'm talking about Montavious. Wait, am I saying this damn right? You know what? MVP. MVP with 2 reigns and a total of 419 days. Now, you say to yourself, why are you picking MVP as one of the all-time greats? Well, for me, the guy held that title when that title was dead in the water. I thought he actually brought some interest, prestige to that title when he held it. Importance to that title during his run. He had really good feuds, and I'm gonna throw out some names and don't laugh, but with guys like
the Miz stands out the most to me.
The Miz, Matt Hardy, Kofi Kingston. He had great matches with Kofi, and he actually ended up dropping the title to Drew McIntyre. Now, what's his name in TNA again? That's
What's what?
Drew McIntyre's name in TNA now. I don't know why I'm drawing the chosen one. I'm drawing a blank.
Drew Galloway.
Drew Galloway, right.
Voice of the people.
The voice of the people, Drew Galloway. I'm sorry about that, guys. I just drew a blank. I don't have many notes here. But
yeah, I hate when you throw stuff at me.
Yeah, my bad, dude. But
because I blanked out for a second there as well.
But listen, the guy held the title for over a year, and then his second reign, he held it for 76 days. So, like I said,
it's a good choice, Ray.
He held that title at a time when that title was absolutely not important, and he did his thing with it. And honestly, in my opinion, Andre, in my humble opinion, I don't know what the backstage politics. I don't know anything. I'm not talking, but I think MVP should have definitely, with his charisma, with the way he spoke in the mic, with his size, with his in-ring skill, everything, the total package, that guy should have been World Heavyweight Champion. At least held the World Heavyweight title. So.
Well, within my findings, within my research over the years, I have found research that stated that he indeed was planned or to be implemented in as World Heavyweight Championship material or spot. But like you said, we don't know what happened backstage. Obviously, something happened, and only MVP would be the one to confirm whatever that would be. But right. That's a great choice. Yeah, he was a champion for quite a long time.
Long time. He held that title. He actually was one of the main players and helped keep SmackDown afloat back in the day. So
just like Kenny Anderson or Mr. Kennedy or whatever you want to call him, he's another wrestler just like MVP that seemed like they were poised with a rocket ship into the top, but
I think if Anderson didn't get hurt, he would have been champion. That was the problem. He got hurt.
Well, no, he hurt Randy Orton. That's the thing.
Yeah, but then he also got injured when he was at his highest peak.
Because when I met him, we talked about him and Randy Orton kind of thing, and that's indeed his outs, his downfall within the World Wrestling Federation at the time.
Right. Well, I mean, in any case, Andre, that's why I picked MVP, and people may give me heat for picking him over, the other guys. But I thought for the time that he held the title, I thought he was extremely important to that title, and I thought he was a great champ. So anyway, that's my number 3. Andre, your number 2?
Andre Corbeil's number 2 selection this week on the Can-Am Wrestling Show Countdown. Bobo Brazil, a 13-time United States champion, and indeed the first African-American U.S. champion as well. Now, in a sense of popularity and sheer numbers alone, you can't deny or keep Bobo off this list at any lower than 2 or 3, as Bobo Brazil locks in this week's Can-Am Wrestling Show number 2 slot on the Can-Am Wrestling Show Top Countdown, Top 10 Tizzle.
Top Tizzle.
Tizzle.
Bobo Brazil, one of my father's very favorite wrestlers growing up. Being, coming over here from Puerto Rico, my father was looked upon as, let's just say, not very favorable. A Puerto Rican here in New York City, in the Lower East Side at that time and juncture. But Bobo Brazil was a big hero to a lot of African American Latinos and a lot of quote unquote minorities. So Bobo Brazil was a great champion. Bobo Brazil, they have that thing that he actually won the NWA World Heavyweight title, but didn't.
And they don't even credit it.
But didn't, you know what I'm saying? So but anyway, that's a story, like Bill Schuyler says, a story for another day.
And that's an issue every top promotion has had within their history. If you really dive in and do enough investigating, you will find that that's happened within every large-scale promotion in the history. Look at the Rockers and the
Bret Hitman Hart and Jim. Yeah, it happens. Things happen.
Yeah.
But then again, it's the rest.
Hard subject to change. I think would be the main.
That is the wrestling business, apparently. But anyway, I'm gonna jump into my number 2, Andre, and I'm telling you, it's like we're parallel. We're here. We're here, dude. Because the guy that I picked for my number 2 actually defeated Bobo Brazil for that United States title in 1977. And then he would later go on, after dropping the title, he would defeat Mr. Wrestling, the original Mr. Wrestling, and hold on to that title. He would have feuds with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I mean, I can go on and on. The guy had 5 reigns. Now, we know him to hold the record for the most reigns of World Heavyweight Championships, but woo! I'm talking about the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woo, woo, woo! One of the greatest United States, that's a horrible imitation, one of the greatest United States heavyweight champions of all time. I mean, this guy held the title for a total of 626 days over a span of 5 reigns, dude. I mean, awesome, just awesome. And people forget, man, that the United States title again was a major thing. The television title, I mean, it was really important. Those were money draws.
Television title springboarded you to the United States title, which springboarded you to the World Heavyweight Championship picture, and that was indeed the succession.
Yep, it was pretty awesome. But I think in 1996, Ric Flair did hold that title. He had to vacate it. I think he had an injury, and that was the last time that he held it. I think it was 56 days or something like that. He held that title. It was the last time, 1996. But Ric Flair, man, you cannot dispute him being at least in my top 5. So Ric Flair, not only one of the greatest world heavyweight champions, but in my opinion, one of the greatest United States champions of all time. Andre?
And it's interesting that you led out with that statement, because that's the single reason why Ric Flair wasn't on my list, is that he's so prominently known as the big gold guy.
Right.
That, yeah.
Right, anyway. I know. It overshadows the fact that he was a phenomenal United States champion, traveling the world with that title, and the United States. So anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And the money winner, the purse winner here in the Can-Am Wrestling Show Countdown, pertaining and relating to the United States Championship, pertaining and relating to title reigns, is indeed the Sheik, the original Sheik, not the Iron Sheik, a 16-time United States champion, ruling in the big-time wrestling area, a territory of Detroit and Canada even for that matter, defending it all over the place, Hawaii, everywhere, and drawing a ton of money like crazy with he and Bobo Brazil's legendary feud, wrestling fans. Arguably the greatest heel in the history of wrestling between him and Gorgeous George. Coming out on top, number 1 this week on Andre Corbeil's Top 10 All-Time United States Heavyweight Champions of all time, the Sheik. The
original Sheik. The original Sheik would beat you worse than the Iron Sheik. He'd make you humble, but
he'd eat his woman servant too, all before laying down and praising on his little carpet. He was just a hated man everywhere he went, and
great heel.
As a matter of fact, fans, we were having a conversation, Ray, myself, and Bill Apter one afternoon, and we were talking about the Sheik. And Bill had said that the Sheik was so strict and stern on keeping, not breaking kayfabe, that he wouldn't speak English anywhere in public.
Yes.
And he told a story of the Sheik going into a phone booth. The old phone booths weren't open-faced wall like now. Mm-hmm. They were a booth where you had to slide open the door. Now I'm dating myself.
It's cool. Like Superman, the old Superman.
Exactly. Cha-ching. And the Sheik covering his face like this because you could see through the glass when he was talking English to his wife. So, yeah, ultimately one of the most hated heels, the greatest heels of all time. I can't remember which Can-Am Wrestling Show Countdown where we did the best heels of all time, but
could you imagine he's the Sheik? He goes into the phone booth. He's like, "Hey, honey, are you making a casserole for dinner tonight?"
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. I'll invite the boys over. Very good. Okay. You know, that's awesome, dude.
Now, even though I can't remember the particular show in my mind, number-wise, that we did that particular countdown, I do remember that the Sheik came in at number 2 for me, with Gorgeous George edging him out at my number 1. So, yeah, cool. the Sheik, the greatest United States champion of all time, 16 reigns.
Well, well. Anyway, that's an excellent choice. But Andre, my number one. Don't do that again, dude. You literally scared me when you did that. My number one, Andre, actually defeated the Russian Nightmare for the United States Heavyweight Championship in 1987. This guy had 5 reigns and held that title for almost 1,000 days, 948 days to be exact. There was a match in a steel cage where James J. Dillon threw that steel chair into the ring, and the chair ended up hitting Koloff, and Lex Luger was able to put Koloff in the human torture rack for the victory. He had notable feuds with, again, Nikita Koloff, Ric Flair, Barry Windham, Dusty Rhodes, Dan Spivey, and even Bret Hart, if you do remember that.
Dan Spivey, that's a name I haven't heard
Danny
in a
Spivey.
long time.
That's
Skyscrapers.
That's Wail and Mercy for you people that don't know. That is the original Bray Wyatt. That's where Bray Wyatt. My son,
nicely said.
My son, that's what Bray Wyatt actually says himself. He said it himself. Bray Wyatt was interviewing with Rosenberg over there in Cheap Heat, and he said that Wail and Mercy was the reason why it was the inspiration behind his character.
You didn't come up with that by yourself.
No.
I take it back, Ray.
Hey, dude. Let's be real, dude. I mean, you didn't think that the first time you saw him. That's the thing I thought.
Oh, it just hit the nail on the head right there.
Wail and Mercy was so far ahead of his time.
Creepy.
So far. But anyway, let me just finish up with this.
Remember the little dagger that was tattooed in
Hell yeah. He was awesome. He was balding. He had that skullet. You know,
now he's helping Jim Neidhart, apparently, with rehab.
God bless, man. Hey, do you know what a skullet is?
A skullet.
Yeah, it's a mullet, but you're balding up front like Hulk Hogan. Anybody? No. Paul Heyman actually has one of those.
Oh, Paul Heyman just needs to.
Yeah, but he cut it off, so he looks good. He looks good now. He looks good, nice and clean. But
look at you and your haircut there.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm looking younger.
The fade going in.
Yeah, it's called handsome.
Handsome. Oh my God.
Woo! No, but in all seriousness, man, this guy Lex Luger, you can say what you want to say. Maybe he was limited in the ring, but again, I'm counting number of title reigns, 5, holding the title for almost 1,000 freaking days, and he held it in the NWA all the way through into the changing of the guard when it became WCW. For me, Lex Luger is the greatest and synonymous. I would almost say synonymous with the United States heavyweight title around his six-packed waist. So for
very
me,
integral indeed. Very integral.
For
indeed.
me, my friend, that is my number 1. Andre?
Very integral.
That is our top 10 this week, ladies and gentlemen. So Andre,
Tizzle, for shizzle, manizzle,
Andre the Giant,
jizzle.
Don't do that, please. You sound like Snoop Dogg, and I don't want to see anybody other than professional wrestlers on wrestling TV.
Yo.
Even though I like Snoop, dude, I don't know what it is, man. There's something about the guy that I just like. I don't know. Maybe because he's, I don't know. Maybe because I grew
one
up
of those
with him.
guys that want to sit around a couch with Snoop Dogg and just.
No, I don't do illegal drugs, sir.
I didn't even finish my sentence.
Well, I knew exactly where you were going with the sticky of the icky.
Ooh wee.
Ooh wee. Yeah, bow wow wow. Anyway, so Andre, listen, man. I don't know if you guys checked out my report at OneWrestling.com. I tried to jump on it as quickly as I possibly could.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. I reported that AJ Lee officially retired from WWE. There's not a lot of news. I've been digging and talking and asking, and she was just done. She was just done. From what I'm hearing, she was just done. She just didn't want to do it anymore. I guess CM Punk's making some pretty good money. He probably signed one hell of a contract, and also CM Punk and AJ are known to be very frugal savers.
I was just gonna say she's most likely saved her money as well.
They're savers. So even CM Punk, I think, if I'm correct, in a couple of interviews said that he wouldn't have to wrestle or work another day in his life because he saved his money and they spend it wisely, which I applaud. Hey, a lot of wrestlers, man, back in the 80s, especially in the 70s, those guys used to spend money like it was water, and unfortunately, now they have to, sign autographs. Unfortunately, in some of these small gymnasiums, to make ends meet. But Andre.
And unlike other wrestling sites, and I'm not naming any names at all, One Wrestling is dedicated to official news that is confirmed news. Only when it's confirmated, wrestling fans, will you get these reports from the OneWrestling.com family, video family, and writers on the .com site. So it was a great report, Ray.
Thank you, sir.
It absolutely exploded all over social media, and these false stories started. Oh, well, what if she's going to TNA? Blah, 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 blah. You won't get those kind of reports, those kind of gossip rumors on this social media network, because that's not how Bill Apter, Big Ray, Andre Corbeil, Bill Schuyler, and Billy Ray Valentine roll on this network site. Now, a lot of speculation was all over social media on why, where, when, what she was going to do in the future, all of that kind of stuff as the frenzy continued for a couple days, to be exact. Now, AJ Lee finally hushed the rumors, so to speak, by posting on Twitter, "Thank you at Lashin Agency. I hope our book, so that's where she's going, wrestling fans, is indeed writing a book. I hope our book inspires girls to become strong women and underdogs to make their dreams indeed a reality." So good for her. Time for another chapter in her life. She did leave her stamp within the WWE Divas division. Not one of my favorite wrestlers, but I can't take away from the legacy, the trailblazing that indeed AJ Lee will leave behind within her WWE career and legacy. All I gotta say, wrestling fans, is Natty better get pushed to the moon now. Natty better get pushed to the moon.
I don't see it happening, Andre, and it's funny
I know.
because I just I had thought about that. You know, you have Naomi out there. You have the Bella Twins. You have Sasha Banks, in the NXT champion, who's actually really good. She's Snoop Dogg's niece. You have the amazing Charlotte Flair, who will be coming up soon. So there's a plethora of, and don't forget Paige, obviously. There's a plethora of females that can fill that void, especially the young females coming up from NXT. I think Charlotte Flair is my best bet to take the helm and carry that division. Hopefully they do it right.
And I think the major denominator rate here is that Natty's so damn good at making everybody else look good that she's too valuable in that spot in creating new stars, so to speak. So yeah, you look at her stuff with Charlotte Flair, ultimately putting Charlotte Flair over, right? You remember they had the series and everything. Natty's just too good at making everybody else look good, and it's a shame because she is indeed the best wrestler within the WWE division. I don't think anybody within the back of their mind, no matter who they're a fan of, can deny that in-ring savviness, skill, technical skill, and in-ring talent, ability. There's nobody better than Natalya Neidhart.
But she's also the perfect package. I mean, she's on the Divas show. She's a beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she cuts a pretty decent promo. I mean,
she's very well rounded.
Right. So I don't understand why they never actually put that Divas title around that waist, but I don't know, it's neither here nor there.
You go back to Beth Phoenix when Beth Phoenix was dominating. There was nobody else within the confines of the division at that particular time that held a candle to her.
No.
And if they were to make Natty a strong champion and let her showcase everything she indeed could do or can do, it would be the exact same scenario as the Beth Phoenix scenario, where there just wouldn't be anybody else within the confines of the division that would viably challenge as a contender to that title, you know?
Right. No, I agree with you 1,000%, Andre. But again, you know, I want to see what happens when Charlotte comes up. And
Natty and Gail Kim just they're on the tops of my list for female wrestling in North America.
Great. Yeah, excellent. Excellent. And again, what's this young lady's name? They're actually changing her gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually she's kind of tired. Her gimmick is she's tired of the fans, and she's a more serious athlete now in that world of NXT. So I think when she comes back to the main roster, because she's one hell of a. Who am I talking about, Andre?
It's actually my alarm It's actually my morning alarm on my phone is the Emma theme.
Yeah, and Emma, I think when she comes up to the main roster is going to be a deal to reckon with, or whatever the hell the saying is. And again, you still have Paige there. So
We all know the Paige push, the push that Paige got when she came up and got that push. It could have just as easily been Emma that got that push on a talent level. She could have ran with it as well, but we all know the gimmick that. Thank God she's breaking that gimmick and coming out with something new. I think that's great news.
And the word through the grapevine, Andre, is, and I know they've been saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it, but I heard that they are actually going to be giving the Divas on WWE TV a hell of a lot more time. On that. I don't know if it's gonna. It may be implemented within the next month or maybe after the pay-per-view. You're gonna see little by little. Remember, you heard it here. You're gonna see little by little the Divas getting 5, 10, maybe 15-minute matches on television. So don't be surprised, Andre, if the Divas that whole division begins to rebuild and maybe you see something a little better. No knockouts division yet, but you never know.
I think they could really get away with a 30-minute Divas wrestling show, not Total Divas style. They have that bracket of the market cornered already. I mean, an actual in-ring product of the Divas division. I think they could get away with a 30-minute show on Saturday afternoons. I think it would do very well.
Forget about that. They have a network. They can put the Divas on.
Put it on television.
They could put it on right after NXT.
Put it on television. They have enough on the network already.
Okay. Well, no, they're looking. Yeah, but they need original content. That's what I'm saying, and I think that'll be a great original show. But anyway, so Andre, I want you to break the news here. I want you to explain to the fans. We're gonna jump into a little TNA Impact Wrestling action. Follow them on Twitter at Impact Wrestling.
Okay, let me punch up the notes I have for this here.
Yeah, man. TNA apparently signing a new television deal, Andre. And as Andre gets his information, we're gonna jump into that. Go ahead, buddy.
2 new signed TV deals in 1 week, wrestling fans. 2 different continents as well, as TNA Wrestling signed a multi-year deal with Canada's Fight Network, bringing more TNA to Canadians than ever with Impact, Explosion, and TNA's greatest matches, and also inking a deal in Brazil. Now you can check the report at onewrestling.com pertaining and relating to the original and initial television deal that was signed earlier this week, but TNA wasn't done there yet. Announced in Rio de Janeiro, Impact Wrestling has indeed arrived on Brazilian TV screens for the first time ever after a deal between TNA and a major free-to-air sports broadcaster, Esporte Interativo, if I said that right, with a new partnership. And it began this month, bringing TNA to one of the world's largest and fastest growing TV markets with the flagship program Impact Wrestling, which will first air on Esporte Interativo every Sunday at 10 p.m.
God bless you.
Fans will be able to watch TNA's monthly pay-per-views, the one-night-onlys, the events, as well as Explosion, which will broadcast every Monday at 7:45 p.m. All shows will be repeated throughout the week, so as many fans as possible are able to tune in. Now, programming will air in Portuguese as well, as TNA will indeed join global brands on that network such as the NFL, UEFA Champions League, and wow, it says that the network can be seen by 105 million people in Brazil and is also the home of MMA in the country as well. Now, Dixie Carter took to social media and made the statement to partner with a major Brazilian network with the reach of more than 100 million people is yet another significant chapter in the incredible TNA International story and an important milestone as we look to expand furthermore in South America. So, great news for Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, Dixie Carter, Bob Ryder, and John Gabarick, who are indeed bringing TNA to the fans worldwide. So thank you to each and every one of you, and the TNA roster as well, for really delivering compelling wrestling in 2015. They're really, really on a roll this year, Ray.
Well, to TNA, I will wish them a Bore Solte, or what is it, Bora Solte, which is good luck in Portuguese over there in Brazil. And I hope I'm saying that right, guys. You guys in Brazil, don't beat me up. Yo soy Latino, yo hablo español, pero yo no hablo portugués. Anyway, for my Latin fans, for my American fans, I just basically said I can't speak a lick of Portuguese. So anyway, it's great. I love the fact that TNA is expanding globally, which you know. And I know we're talking about TNA, but it's kind of been bugging me, Andre. And I know I'm going off topic. This is not structured or anything like that. But speaking about global, dude, I mean, like, TNA is doing what I thought Global Force Wrestling would be doing by this point in juncture. And you just don't hear anything about it. And I'm not trying to put down Global Force Wrestling because I don't know anything about it. There's nothing.
They have announced tapings coming up in Las Vegas.
Yeah, well.
So that gives you the structure right there, revealing the structure, wrestling fans, that Jeff Jarrett is indeed going to produce Global Force Wrestling on the same structure, guidelines, or boundaries as Total Nonstop Action currently is, with clusters of tapings. Now, a lot of people are bothered by the way TNA does that, but I don't check the spoilers, and if you stay away from the spoilers, it doesn't bother you at all. Like I said,
I don't listen to the spoilers, dude.
The episodes have been great this year, Ray. They really have.
You want to hear something funny? I knew that Bobby Lashley was going to drop the title to Kurt Angle for weeks. It didn't stop me from watching that show, and that show was freaking awesome. That match was freaking awesome.
Even the rematch was good this week. Some people say it was better than the original.
It was awesome. It was just all awesome. Awesome television. Forget about television. It was awesome wrestling. And to see those two amazing, legit athletes in the ring just beating the living hell out of each other, Andre, was just great to see.
NCAA champion versus Olympic champion. Like, it just doesn't get any better if you're a wrestling fan.
That is wrestling, dude. That is wrestling.
Anybody that doesn't give that match or that matchup or booking the full accolades that it indeed deserves... just stop drinking your haterade.
Yeah, they're straight up haters.
The best way I could put it.
But good luck to TNA. Good luck to TNA Impact Wrestling. They are. You know, to me, I feel that Spike TV dropping them was probably one of the best things because I love the way Destination America promotes that product, man.
How long have North American audiences wanted to view Explosion on a North American scale? It just hasn't happened. Now it's happening. So it's just good stuff. Good stuff all around.
And let's continue moving on to non-WWE topics. You know, for $100,000. No, I'm sorry. Apparently, Mr. Huerto, the owner of Lucha Underground, presented the Triple Tag Team Championship belts. Andre, why don't you tell the fans a little bit about this, buddy?
The Trios Tag Titles, a 4-week tournament with Big Rick and his boys looking poised to be odds-on favorites, as Dario Cueto is seemingly it's such a bad impersonation.
Better than mine.
As Dario Cueto is seemingly putting them on easy street within this 4-week 3-man tag team title tournament, the Trios Tag Team Title Tournament. Now, all I can say, Ray, is I'm expecting some kind of cog within Dario's plan to kind of mess the boss's devious plan up. Also, if you've seen on my channel, Hernandez signs a Lucha Underground contract.
Super Max.
Yeah, and he debuted a nice appearance-wise last week, but is yet to actually tear it up in the ring. Now, what lies in the future cards for our friend Ray, and will we find out on next week's Can-Am Wrestling Show a little bit more? Now, Super Mex himself will indeed be joining Big Ray and Andre Corbeil on the Can-Am Wrestling Show, and we're going to try and get it out to you later on this week, so it'll be ready for next week. And hot off the presses, before he even has his in-ring debut, Big Ray, Andre Corbeil present Lucha Underground's newest superstar, Super Mex.
And you know what's cool, man? The cool thing is, and this is why, you know, we establish good relationships with these professional athletes, with these wrestlers, because we knew for weeks and weeks and weeks. Would you even say months, Andre?
Months.
We knew months that Sean was going to be
at least 90 days before.
More than that. I think more than that. We knew that Sean was going to be wrestling for Lucha Underground. He gave that information with trust to us as our boy, And my man,
pre-shooting his last appearance on our show. So,
yo, dude, I am gonna wish you the best of luck, man. Hernandez, one of my favorite guys in the ring, big boy, representing, Los Latinos,
LAX.
LAX, I mean, dude, I'm just excited to see what he's going to do in that. And again, they're giving another one of our boys, and legit one of our boys, Brian Cage, man. Brian Cage is doing his thing over there, and I can't wait to see Brian Cage feud with Hernandez. And if you've never seen Brian Cage in the ring, that's a big boy. He's not big this way. He's big this way and big this way, and that guy moves like a cat, Andre.
And they teased it already with Hernandez getting up on the apron.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, big Brian Cage is flexing, and Super Mex goes, "Yeah, I'm big too, bro."
So I can't do. Can you do the? I can't do the whistle.
I've gotten better because he was making fun of me, Ray.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all make fun of you, Andre, with love.
Oh, dude, he's like, I got a 6-year-old that could do that. He's like,
but again, if you remember, we had him on before, and Super Mex told us that if you're in LA or you're anywhere around Mexico, don't do that because you're gonna get jumped.
Yeah, you'll have a mob of people running at you.
Yeah, but just
irons,
just beating you with wet mops and wet mops and freaking
wet mop beating
and leather sandals. I mean, it's just like a whole plethora of just horrible things to get hit with. Anyway, so
there's the big news, wrestling fans. Super Mex Sean Hernandez. Next week on the Can-Am Wrestling Show, depending on when you're watching this broadcast.
Yeah, man. So it's gonna be pretty cool, man. Sean is awesome. Yo, he is so cool.
He's so cool.
Yeah, he's guys. What you see on TV, that's him. But he's just cooler. Can the guy be cooler?
The one thing that he doesn't display on television is his awesome sense of humor. He's got a great sense of humor.
He's a funny son of a you-know-what. And again, we're on OneWrestling.com, so I might have to put the beep button every once in a while. But it happens. So I'll put the little center bar over. But I'm sure Sean is a freaking professional. So, and he's our boy. So really, really happy to have Sean back. And hopefully we get him on video this time around. So we have to work that out. But if not,
congratulations, Sean. You deserve it, buddy.
Yeah, Sean's awesome, dude. So, all right. So, Andre, the last topic is going to be a quick little topic. I heard through the grapevine, and I heard through very good sources that apparently I've been talking about this since the inception of the Can-Am Wrestling Show. Apparently, the WWE may in fact be bringing back the European title in a storyline, putting that title on Alexander Rusev Putria.
And Ray is marking out.
And I am excited.
Yes, he's marking out.
It's not as good as the Puerto Rican Championship.
Ray and I have been going back and forth forever about how useless I think that title is and how phenomenal he thinks the title is. Yeah. So I know you're marking out right now.
Dude, what they're gonna, I think what they're gonna do is, and this is what I'm hearing. You guys are gonna think I'm crazy when I say this, but I'm telling you, this is what I'm hearing. And again, I don't ever report anything unless it comes from a really reliable source. And what I'm hearing is, and the card is subject to change, like Andre says, but I'm hearing that they're actually going to phase out the United States Championship. They're gonna have they're gonna bring the European title back as that. How can I put it? That first step to the Intercontinental title.
That television. It would be their television.
It'll be
level.
their television title, which it was beginning. Back in the Attitude Era when you had guys like D'Lo Brown holding that title, X-Pac and
I'm also
HBK
hearing, Ray, that they're revamping the United States title, bringing in a new title.
Yeah,
so
they're gonna
speculation all over the place.
Yeah,
They better not bring in a spinner. No, different theme for that.
Oh man, it's awesome, dude! Look, it spins.
Oh hey,
it spins. All right, I don't know. Anyway,
you're the man.
Remember Nikita Koloff?
I was thinking Bubba and Devon.
With that, that's a whole different. That's a story for another day. Oh, speaking about story for another day, Andre.
What's up, Bill Schuyler?
Bill Schuyler has a really, really cool old school TNA back in the day. Andre?
I wish the fans would have been able to see that little private video message that Bill sent to us the one day where he's in full Stone Cold Steve Austin mode. Total gold. I wish he'd implement some of that within his presentation. I think it would be pure gold.
Hey guys, listen.
What?
Listen, guys who don't know, Bill Schuyler does NXT reports, and they're very, very good. Again, we're trying to help him build an audience, so guys, support Bill Schuyler. Follow him on Twitter at YouGotTheShow, DA the show.
His knowledge exceeds the bulk
stuff,
of
man.
reporters within his genre. So
Absolutely.
give Bill Schuyler a chance. Follow him on Twitter at YouGotTheShow. And of course, follow the new Raw correspondent, Billy Ray Valentine, a.k.a. on Twitter, Billy Ray Hustle. And follow the OneWrestling.com family. Again, Andre_Corbeil at Big Ray's Wrestling Show. And our mentor, the icon, Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling. At One Wrestling for everything in the OneWrestling.com umbrella.
Andre, we're going to go back in the day, the days of the black and white television, brother. Back in the day with the American Dream. I'm sorry. Bill Schuyler, let's go back in the day.
Welcome, wrestling fans. You got Bill Schuyler here at that Can-Am Wrestling Show. We're traveling back in the day to TNA Genesis pay-per-view 2006. Kurt Angle going up against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe came to the ring simply with a white towel and ring gear. Kurt Angle with a huge intro, draping himself in the American flag. When the bell rang, Angle went for a single leg takedown, struck Joe with a double arm release suplex. Joe pulled Kurt to the floor with an airplane spin right into the guardrail. He then tossed Kurt Angle face first into the steel steps. Joe went back in the ring, launching himself through with a suicide dive elbow strike. And the Olympian would come back into the ring, head busted open, gushing from the wound that he suffered at the contract signing upon headbutting Samoa Joe. Joe attacked the skull, applying extreme pressure, blood continuing to pour out upon the mat, and he then snapped suplex Kurt Angle, going for the pin. Kurt Angle kicked out at the 2 count. Joe struck with his tilted wheel suplex, and Kurt Angle and he continued to beat each other from pillar to post. Joe put Kurt up on the top rope in an attempt for the muscle buster, but Angle, the cyborg, was now online. Put him in a top rope DDT instead, taking Samoa Joe down to the ring. Punches and strikes continue between both men, and Angle launched a German suplex on Joe for the pin attempt, but Joe escaped. Angle got up on the first rope, and Joe hit him with an enziguri, followed by a muscle buster for the pin, Kurt kicking out at the last second. The canvas again literally drenched in both men's blood. Joe got hit by the Angle slam in the middle of the ring. Joe spun around, got Angle in the coquina clutch. Kurt escapes and engaged again in the ankle lock. Joe escaping, kicking Angle into the ring ropes. He then charged the Olympic medalist, missing, hitting the pole. Angle then hit him with another Angle slam, engaging the ankle lock. Joe could not make the ropes, and he tapped out. That's right, the crowd chanting, "You tapped out, you tapped out." Joe grabbed the mic and said, "You're damn right I tapped out." He told Angle, "If you're half the man you are, you'll give me a rematch." He put his hand out. Kurt Angle pulled his away, walked off, and the match ended. This would not be the last time these men met, but that's a story for another day, and we'll talk about that down the road.
And we are back from back in the day with Bill Schuyler. His little TNA report. Thank you, Bill Schuyler. Again, ladies and gentlemen, follow him at YouGotTheShow on Twitter. And guys, like I said, please check out his NXT reviews. Awesome stuff. Go to OneWrestling.com, YouTube/OneWrestlingVideo to find his reports there. And by the way, guys, Billy Ray Valentine will be away this week. He will not be doing a Monday Night Raw report. I will be covering for him. Hopefully, he's over at Disney World, and apparently Cherry Bomb was at Disney World. So hopefully he ran into Cherry Bomb over there. What do you think about that, Andre?
Awesome.
Very cool. All right, so Andre, why don't you break down our new segment and tell the fans who gave us the idea for this new segment?
Now, this has been a long-time supporter of the show, been with us through the whole beaten path, Jazza Sean. You can follow him at JAZZASHHONNNE 23 or 33.
89.
89.
Close enough.
Now, as you all know that have been watching and following the show, we've had this final segment contest. Now, originally the fans didn't really get what we ultimately wanted. Maybe that was at the fault of Ray and I not specifying, but there were all kinds of top this, top that suggestions, and considering we start off the show each and every week with a countdown, we couldn't choose any of those selections. So thank you to each and every one of you who took part and gave us suggestions for this final segment each and every week on the Can-Am Wrestling Show. But undoubtedly, the best, the winner, came from Jared Morrell, down in the land down under, yes, in Australia, who came up with this.
Australia. All right, so we're gonna jump in, and I'm gonna give a correction on the spelling on his Twitter handle. It's JAZZASHHONS 89. So I can't say, what is it, Jazza Sean?
Jazza Sean.
Jazza Sean. All right, very cool. So now,
big
drum roll.
No, well, we got to explain what this new segment is.
Well, why don't I introduce the name of our segment, and we could jump into what it is.
Sounds great.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is our new segment. Pro Wrestling What If?
To be or not to be? That is the question. Now, Big Ray and Andre Corbeil will each every week throw a wrestling what if out there to you wrestling fans, and the ultimate idea is to get everyone watching, sharing, and interacting with each other on indeed Big Ray's wrestling what if and Andre Corbeil's wrestling what if. Now, we could be throwing anything out there to you, ladies and gentlemen, pertaining and relating to something that has already happened, but with our own little twist, as Ray and I will create a what-if scenario for you wrestling fans to interact with each and every week in the comment section, to conversate about it. And just remember, wrestling fans, it's all in good fun here, and we hope you have fun with some of the what-ifs that Andre Corbeil and Big Ray are indeed going to be serving up to you wrestling fans, tuning into the Can-Am Wrestling Show right here on OneWrestling.com each and every week. Now, drum roll. Who wants to go first? Do you want to go first this week?
I'll go first. I'll go first. Why not?
All right.
Yeah,
Bring
I'll
it
go
on.
first. All right. So here's the deal, fans. The what ifs again is your chance to kind of answer us back, to interact with us here on YouTube, Twitter, and OneWrestling.com. So my what if is this, Andre. What if at WrestleMania 3, Andre the Giant decided not to put Hulk Hogan over? What if Andre the Giant said that night,
no,
listen brother, listen boss, I'm not putting you over, I'm gonna drop the elbow on you and I'm gonna hold the title. So now
you sound like Bully Ray.
Yeah, I know, but now what if that happened? Now for me, if that happened, I mean, number one, how would Andre the Giant, with such a deteriorating condition, hold that title? How long would he hold it? How long would the WWE book him for it? And what would it have done to Hulk Hogan's legacy if Hulk Hogan didn't? Because that body slam and that leg drop actually really made Hulk Hogan. I mean, Andre, do you have any opinions on that?
It's solidified Hulk Hogan. It didn't make him. The cartoons made him. The music videos, the albums, the nationwide exposure. That's what made Hulk Hogan. The machine made Hulk Hogan. But what solidified him indeed, as you said, Ray, was that body slam, the Pontiac Silverdome in front of 93,000 plus. Now, some have said that they didn't even break the 93,000 mark, but that's speculation, neither here
It's a lot of people, nonetheless.
Yeah. It's still indeed holding the indoor attendance record today, all these years later. So it was definitely a monumental moment within Hulk Hogan's career in defining him and indeed defining wrestling at the grand stage.
Oh, absolutely. So, I just want to know, guys, what do you think? What do you think Andre the Giant, how long would you think he would have held the title? How would they have taken the title off of Andre the Giant? So on and so forth. What if Andre did not lose at WrestleMania 3 and he did not put his buddy Hulk Hogan over? Andre, what is
And that's ultimately what we want here, wrestling fans, is for you guys to be imaginative and come up with your own scenario as Andre the Giant being the WWF champion moving forward there. It's all kinds of things. And each and every week, Ray and I are going to give you one apiece. So if one doesn't meet your interest, hopefully the other does, as we capture your imagination, wrestling fans tuning in. Now, Andre Corbeil's Wrestling What If. Now, what if WCW actually won the Monday Night Wars? What do you fans think the world of professional wrestling would be like indeed today?
Wow, I couldn't even imagine. You know what?
The important thing to remember here is that AOL is ultimately the one that killed WCW, not the WWF. McMahon was just around to pick up the scraps so that no one else with money at the time would be able to resurge WCW. So again, fans, be creative with your responses relating to Big Ray and Andre Corbeil's Can-Am Wrestling Show What If segment. Hope you really enjoy this segment. I think Ray and I are going to have a lot of fun in due time with this new segment. So thanks, Jared, and follow him at Jazzashawn89.
Yeah, 89. And guys, don't forget, guys, leave your comments below, ladies and gentlemen. And again, this is your chance to interact with us, and we definitely get back to you. So Andre the Giant. I'm about to call you Andre the Giant.
It's a long time.
I'll squeeze your neck. Andre, why don't you take us home, buddy?
We're knowledgeable, passionate wrestling reporters right here at OneWrestling.com. Thank you for supporting the OneWrestling.com family. We work hard to bring you guys the latest updates in wrestling news, interviews, recaps, reports pertaining to the wonderful world of professional wrestling. We're knowledgeable, and we do it just for you guys because we know you're just as knowledgeable. So thanks for supporting OneWrestling.com. Big Ray's Wrestling Show, Big Ray on Twitter, Andre Corbeil on Twitter, Andre Corbeil on YouTube, Bill Schuyler on YouTube, Bill Schuyler on YouTube at You Got the on YouTube at
on Twitter at You Got the Show,
at You Got the Show, and Billy Ray Valentine at Billy Ray Hustle. And thanks for tuning in. You guys can also follow us on Twitter, Ray and I, as we share the account, the Can-Am Wrestling Show.
Yep,
or at Can-Am Wrestling. So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Andre, I say this every single week. I would do this for a living, but if I can, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. And Andre?
We're all in this for one thing, and as Bill Apter does,
that's wrestling at the matches. Peace, guys.